Alright guys, so in this tutorial we're going to be finishing off the sitting area over here, including the steps we have going on, and also we might go ahead and finish the garage planks we have over here, and also the pillar that is underneath this roof over here. So let's get on and begin this, okay? So I have the dimensions written over on paper, so we're going to go ahead and start this out. Let me go over here, get into edit mode. I'm going to take this edge over here, this edge right here, and I want to shift and D this and move it in the y-axis, and I'm just going to extrude it in the y-axis just so I have a plane, and I'm going to take that whole plane, press P and separate the selection. Alright, so I'm going to take this plane now. I think we have to work on the height, so it should be 0.712 meters high. So I'm just going to go in here, take this edge right here, press G and then Z, and set it down until we have 0.712 on the side right there. So we're almost there, 0.712, just like that. Alright, so now I'm going to take the whole thing. Let me just take this, press G and then Y, and move this back until it intersects that wall over there. And I'm going to take the whole thing, and I'm going to move it a bit in the x-axis. So G and then X, and I'm just going to move it in the x-axis just a bit like that. Let me just move it a bit more, just like that. Alright, so now from here all the way to the end here, which is here over here, is about 3.21 meters. So I'm going to take this one, press G and then Y, and move this until we have 3.21 meters over here, like that. Very nice. Okay, so now the one below it, that is the edge over here, is about, sorry about those cocks, if you can hear them. Alright, so I'm just going to extrude this in the x-axis until we have 1.18 in here. So it's about 1.18, just like that. Alright, very nice. So now I'm going to take this edge over here, and let me go into wireframe. I'm going to extrude this in the x-axis until I can't really see anything. So let me see, G and then X, 0.2. I can't really see anything. I want to try to get 0.2 in here. You could go ahead and type in 0.2. That could also save you the time. Alright, just like that. So we have 0.2 in there. And I'm going to extrude this in the y-axis all the way back to here. And let me take this one as well. Extrude it in the y-axis by negative 0.2. Or no, maybe positive 0.2. Just like that. And I want to take that edge and this edge. First off, let me go into vertex select mode. And let me make this the active element. And let me set the pivot point to the active element. And I want to press S and then X or Y and type in 0. Just so they're on the same level. And I want to take that whole thing and press F. Now I want to take these two vertices here and press F until that whole face is filled. Alright. So that's the first step. Now we're going to move on to the next one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this edge over here. First off, let me take a real quick look at something. And yeah, so let's get back to this. So I'm going to take this edge over here, alright? And I'm going to duplicate it. That's Shift and D. In the x-axis, in the y-axis, a bit to about here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude it in the y-axis a bit more till we have 0.878 meters on the side right there. 878. Think that's about it. 8.879 is quite close, so we can keep that. Alright, so now I'm going to take that whole thing and let's extrude it in the y-axis, in the x-axis, all the way back to here until we have a 2.99 on top. So let's keep going. 2.99, just like that. And now I'm going to get in here. Take this face, go into wireframe, take that face, and let's insert into those faces. So I'm going to press I to insert, just like that. Let me try something like this. It should be about the same size as the edge we have over here. So I'm just going to keep it that way and press X and delete the faces. And I want to take both edges here and press F. And I want to take this edge and press F all around. Very nice. So that's the second one. Now we can move on to the next one, which is over here. Now I'm going to take this and then duplicate this in the x-axis. And I'm going to move it in a y-axis all the way back to about here, like this. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, I don't know if I should keep it there or move it a bit more back. So what I'm going to do is, let me just press G and then X or Y and move this back to about there. So I think that is about good. So I'm just going to keep it there like that. And now let me extrude this back in the x-axis, in the y-axis for about 2.46 meters. So we're gonna have 2.46 meters in the middle. So G and then Y, 2.46. That's too much. To about there. All right, good. Now we're gonna take this one and let's extrude it until we have what do you call it? 1.63 meters on the top. So 1.63. Think, yeah. So that's good. Very good. And I'm going to extrude this back until we have 3.84 over here. So E and then X or Y until we have 3.84 on the top, like that. Alright, now I'm going to extrude it again in the X-axis until we have 3.66 on the bottom. So 3.66 like that. And I'm going to take this one as well, extrude it in the X-axis by 2.03. Or you can go ahead and then take this to be the active element, press S and then X and type in 0. And that's pretty much it. And now you can press F. Simple as that. Alright, so I think this is a bit to the inside. So I'm going to take that whole piece and let me go to the top view. Alright, so I'm going to press G and then Y and move this back to, I'm not sure. Let me take a real quick look. Yeah, so just going to pull it back a bit. So G and then Y, pull it back to about here. Let me take a look with the ruler. And yeah, so maybe a bit more inside, just like that. Should be good. Alright, very nice. So I'm going to take the whole thing, press F, and take the one at the bottom as well, press F, alright? And I want to take the one at the bottom and the one at the top. So the faces at the bottom and the one at the top. And I want to insert the faces in here, just like we did to the previous one. So I'm just going to insert it to be about the same amount as this one right here. And I think that's pretty good. So I'm just going to press X and delete the faces. And I'll just take this edge and that edge and press F. And I'm going to take this edge and press F all around. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so only one more thing we have to do, or maybe a few more stuff. The first being, let's go into each of these. And let me just take this right here and all of this as well. Let me just press Shift and D and move it in the Z axis. And I'm going to press F, just like that. Okay, just to create that soil on top of that area, like that. Simple as that. Alright, so now the next thing we're going to do is to create the actual steps and the floor in that area. And to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into edit mode and let me take, I'm not so sure how high that is. So I'm going to check that real quick. 0.329 meters. So I'm just going to go back in here and let me just take, it's 0.329 meters high. So let me just take, I'm not sure. Let me take these two over here, alright? And let me just Shift and D this in the X-axis a bit. And then extruding the Z-axis, I think it was 0.329 if I wasn't wrong. G and then Z, 0.329, right about there. You most probably won't be seeing this, but I'm seeing it. So you just, or you could just go ahead and type in 0.329. I think, I'm not sure that is right. 0.329 meters. Still not working. Meters. Okay. Maybe not. So let me just do this by hand. Okay, so 0.329. And just keep it there like that. That was 0.328, but it's pretty much the same thing. So alright, so now I'm just gonna take this edge and move it in the x-axis or the y-axis a bit. And I'm gonna take this and let me see. Okay. Let me just take these two over here. 1, 2. And I'm gonna extrude this, or extrude it in the x-axis all the way back to about here, or maybe a bit more back, I'm not sure. Okay, so the thing is, I think this one actually pulls back a bit. So let me take this one over here. Let me go over to the top view. Okay, so it's got to pull to the side a bit, just like that. Okay. Yeah, so make sure you fix that. Okay, I forgot to select this as well. So let's select that. Go back to the top view, press G and then X and pull this back to about there. And that should be good. You can see that right here. Yeah, so now let's go into edit mode. I'm going to take this now. Alright. And I'm going to extrude this. Let's extrude it in the y-axis all the way back to about here. I think that's pretty good. Yeah. And I'm going to extrude it in the x-axis all the way back to, I'm not sure, so let's just put it around here. I think that should be good. Alright. Okay. It's coming out very nicely. So let me see. Let's just get over here. Let's get over here. Let me just press Shift and D and then Shift and Z and move this all the way back to about here. Let me go into wireframe. All right, real quick. Let me get to the top view. Press G and move this all the way here, like that. And I want to extrude it in the y-axis all the way back to that wall, like that. And let me just take this edge as well. And what we're gonna do is let me just press G and then I'm not sure, G and then X or Y, and pull this all the way back in here to about here. Let me just get over here. Yeah, to about there. And I want to extrude this in the x-axis all the way to about there. Let me just go into wireframe and let me take this vertex over here, press S and then X and type in 0. And I want to take that whole thing and press F, just like that. Alright, very nice. It's coming out really nicely. Let me take a look at this side, make sure it's intersecting. Alright, I think it is. So let me just go into wireframe now. Now we just have to fill that whole area right there. So let me just take everything, press Ctrl and I, and hide everything else. And now let's fill this whole area. So I'm going to press Ctrl and R through here. Take this vertex here, press S and then Y, and type in 0. I'm going to do the same thing here. Take this, press S and Y, type in 0. And I think that's pretty much enough for that side. I think. Yeah. And now, let me see. Let me just take this now. Let me press G and then X or Y and move this even further inside. Or let me just take this vertex, press S and then Y and type in 0. And then let's take that whole thing and press F. I'm not sure if that pops up in here. I don't think it does, so we're pretty safe. Does it pop up? No, I think it's inside, so we're good. Alright. So let me just go back into edit mode, and now I'm going to take one, or let me just add in extra loop cuts over here as well. So add one in here, take this, press S and then X and type in 0. Do the same here. Take this, press S and then X and type in 0. Alright, so I'm just going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 and press F. And let me just take this and then this and press F. I'm going to put one in here, take this, press S and then Y and type in 0. And I'm going to take this and this, including, and press F. And I'm going to take this, that, and that, and press F. So you can see how this is going right now. So I'm just going to take these 4 now, and press F. Take these 2, and that 2, and press F. And finally I can take this 2, and press F. And there we go. Alright, very nice. So it came out very nicely. Now all that we have to do is to create the steps we have going on. So I'm just going to go in here, and I'm going to press Ctrl and R through here. And I think we have 3 steps, alright? So we're just going to put 2 more in here, just like that. And I think it would be best to separate this whole piece from the others. So I'm just going to take all of that, press P and separate the selection. I'm going to press Alt and H to bring everything else back. And now let's get out of edit mode and take this, and let's get back into edit mode. Alright. So what we're going to do now is I am going to press Ctrl and R through here. Add one in here, and I'm going to add another one over here, like that. Alright, so now all that we're going to do is I am going to take this face over here, that's this and then that. I want to press E and extrude it in the y-axis like this. I think that's about good. And I want to deselect that one and extrude this in the y-axis all the way back to there. Alright, that's looking great, but we have to make it look just like this one because this side is just flat, but we want it to be the same as the other side. So let me just go into wireframe, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into edit mode here. Let me take all of these faces here, right, all of it. I'm going to press X and delete the faces, including the one below. The ones below also have to go. Let me just press Ctrl and I and hide everything else because I can see this. Alright, let me go to the bottom, delete those faces down there as well, just like that. Now let's press Alt and H to bring, let's press Alt and H to bring everything back. And now let me go back in here again. Alright, let me go into edit mode of this piece. And now, what I'm going to do is, let me take this and delete the faces, alright? And that, and delete the faces. So you can see how I deleted the faces there. It's pretty crucial that you do that as well. So let me just take this and then that and press F and fill that area. And I want to take this and then that vertex, press S and then X and type in 0, just like that. And I want to take these 2 vertices, press F twice, just like that. And I want to take this, and then that, and press S and then X and type in 0. And finally, I'm going to take this 2, press F twice. That's pretty much it. as you can see. Very nice. So we're pretty much going to do the same steps over here, but that shouldn't be too difficult because it's not cut out. I mean, it's not cut on the edge like this one on any part. So it should just be basic extrusions. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these faces here. I'm going to edit mode. Take these faces here. Go to face select mode. Take those faces, and I'm going to extrude this in the x-axis, just like that. Okay, I may have extruded the top one as well, so let's undo that. And let's select the whole face again. Deselect the top one, press E and then X, and extrude this all the way to here, and then deselect this and extrude it all the way to that side. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so you can see that whole area looks pretty much done. So yeah, we can call that done. So all I'm going to do now is to create the planks on the garage in this video as well. And then we can move on to the next thing. But first off, let me just check and make sure everything else is good. So I think I just left one more thing out, and that's the holes in the walls over here. So I'm just going to go into edit mode. Let me press Ctrl and R through here. Let me go into edge select mode. Ctrl and R through here as well. Just add in between each of them, just like that, and reselect all of them. And now what we're going to do is we're going to press Ctrl B to bevel this. And I'm going to put 2 extra ones in the middle. So just make sure it's pretty tight enough, not too big, just very tight like that. And I'm going to press Ctrl and minus to deselect the outer ones. I want to press Alt and S to scale this inside, just like that. I think that worked for each and every single one of them. Yeah, perfect. So you can see we have those lines cut out inside it now. Alright, so now we can go ahead and create the planks for the garage and the pillar that is below it. So let me just take this piece over here. Let me take one of those planks up there. And I'm going to press Shift and D and move it down here. And I'm going to press G and then Y. Yeah, G and then Y, and move it all the way back to about this side. Let me just zoom into that area. G and then Y, move it back to about there. And let me just press G and then Z and pull this up all the way to the top, just like that. Alright, now let me just go into vertex select mode, go into wireframe, take that whole thing. Okay, maybe not. What was that? Okay, there we go. So let me just go into wireframe. Let me press B and take all of these. I'm going to press G and then X and move this all the way back to the end of the wall right there. And I want to do the same thing pretty much over here. Press G and then X, pull this all the way to there. Nice. Alright, so now all that I'm going to do is to take this, press Shift and then D, and move this in the Z axis all the way to here. I think that's pretty good enough gap. I'm going to press Shift and R twice. I'm going to press Shift and R once. And what we're going to do is to cut this out before we actually proceed. So I'm going to press Ctrl and R through here, add in one. I'm going to press Ctrl and B to bevel this out. Make sure you move the inner edges like that. Alright, I'm going to move this manually now. So G and then X, pull this back to about there. And now let me take this as well. Press G and then X and move this back to about there. Now let me press Ctrl and R through here and delete those vertices. Very nice. I want to take this vertices over here, press F. And these ones over here and press F. Now let's take the whole thing now. Alright. So both of them, of course. Like that. And let's zoom in and make sure the gap is pretty much the same. So I'm going to press Shift and D and Z. Make sure the gap is pretty much the same as the ones at the top. I think that is pretty good. I'm not sure if it is, but I think it is. So I'm just going to press Shift and R now, all the way to the bottom like that. That should be good. Alright, very nice, as you can see. Now all that we have to do is to create the pillar that is right here. So to create that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, go into edit mode. I'm going to take this edge here, press Shift and D and move it in the y-axis all the way back here. Extrude it in the y-axis all the way to there. Take the whole thing, press P and separate the selection. And I want to take that and just zoom into that area like that. Let me take this, press G and then X, move it in a bit. Take this, press G and then X, move that in a bit. And let me just take the whole thing now. Let me press G and then Y, move this in a bit more like that. And I'm going to press E and then Z and extrude this all the way down to there, like that. That pretty much does it for that pillar. That's just all we have to do there. but I think it's too huge, so I'm going to scale it down a bit more on the sides. So let me just take this, press G and then X, move this in a bit, and I'm going to take this as well, press G and X, and move this in a bit. And I'm also going to do it on this side, so take all of this, press G and then Y, move this all the way in to there. Alright, so I think that's pretty good. Yeah. So you should also have all that done by now so that we can move on to the next thing in the next video. So I'll see you guys in pretty much the next video. But before we go, I think, well, it's not pretty visible, so it's not actually that important to do it. But there's something up here on top of this piece here, okay? It's just this exact same thing just down here. So you can go ahead and do that if you want, but I'm not going to do it. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.